Listen, I need to tell you something, and I need you to believe me because what happened to me could happen to anyone. Hell, it might already be happening to you right now, and you just don't know it yet. My name is Mira Chen, and 3 months ago, I thought I was starting over. Fresh divorce, fresh apartment, fresh life. The kind of optimistic bullshit you tell yourself when you are 29 and your entire world has just collapsed around you. The apartment was a shithole. Let me be clear about that. 400 square feet on Bleecker Street, with stains on the carpet that looked suspiciously like blood and a bathroom door that wouldn't close properly. But it was cheap, and cheap was all I could afford after David took everything in the divorce. Everything except my pride. And honestly, that wasn't worth much anymore. I remember the first night clearly. I was sitting on the floor, surrounded by boxes, eating Chinese takeout with plastic chopsticks, and wondering how my life had gotten so small. That's when I found it. The closet had this weird alcove in the back, like someone had built a hiding place. Inside was a single cardboard box, old and yellowed, sealed with duct tape. That was probably older than I was. The previous tenant had left it behind. The landlord, Mr. Kowalski, had mentioned someone named Elena who'd lived there for 20 years before. Well, before whatever happened to her, he always got weird when I asked about her. The box was heavier than it looked. Inside, wrapped in newspaper from 2003, was a webcam. But not just any webcam. This thing looked ancient. Like, early 2000s ancient. The kind of bulky, black plastic monstrosity that should have been in a museum. But it was in perfect condition. Not a scratch on it. Not a speck of dust. Like it had been waiting. I almost threw it away. Should have thrown it away. But I was lonely, you know? Desperately, pathetically lonely. And I thought, maybe I could start streaming. Make some friends online. Maybe even make a little money. God, I was so stupid. So I plugged it in. The moment, and I mean the moment, that USB cable connected to my laptop, everything changed. The camera hummed to life with this low, almost subsonic vibration that I felt in my bones. The red LED didn't just turn on, it pulsed, like a heartbeat, like it was alive. My laptop screen flickered, and suddenly I was looking at a website I'd never seen before. Stream.net. The interface was wrong. All blacks and deep purples, with fonts that hurt to look at directly. It looked ancient and futuristic at the same time, if that makes sense. Like someone had designed it in 2003, but with technology from 2030. And there I was, live on stream. The video quality was impossibly crisp, better than any camera I'd ever used. But that wasn't the weird part. The weird part was the viewer count, 13,247, and climbing. I hadn't even announced I was streaming. I hadn't created an account. I hadn't done anything except plug in the camera, and somehow 13,000 people were watching me sit on my apartment floor in my pajamas, holding a container of lo mein. The chat was exploding, messages flying by so fast I could barely read them. She's back. I knew she'd return. Mira, can you see us? Don't look behind you. Wave if you can hear us. It's been so long, we missed you. My blood turned to ice. I'd never told them my name. I'd never created a username. I'd never done anything. And these people knew who I was. But that wasn't the worst part. The worst part was the next message. Elena used to sit in that exact same spot. Elena, the previous tenant, the one who'd lived here for 20 years. I tried to click out of the stream, but the browser wouldn't respond. I tried to close my laptop, but the screen wouldn't turn off. I tried to unplug the camera, but when I reached for the cord, it wouldn't budge. Not like it was stuck, like it was part of the computer itself. The viewer count hit 15,000, then 18,000. The chat was going insane. She's exactly like Elena was. Same scared expression. This is where it gets interesting. Mira, turn around. There's something you need to see. I didn't want to turn around. Every instinct in my body was screaming at me not to turn around. But the messages kept coming. Thousands of them, all saying the same thing. Turn around, turn around, turn around. So I did. There was a mirror on the wall behind me. A huge, ornate thing with a broke frame that definitely hadn't been there when I moved in. I would have remembered it. I would have noticed it. But there it was. Like it had always been there. And in the mirror, I saw myself, sitting on the floor, holding chopsticks, looking terrified. But on the laptop screen, in the stream, I saw something else. My reflection was smiling. I wasn't smiling. I was terrified. My mouth was open in shock. My eyes were wide with fear. But the version of me on the stream was smiling this slow, satisfied smile, like she knew something I didn't. I touched my face. My reflection in the mirror touched her face too. But the me on the stream, she lowered her hand and waved at the camera. The chat exploded. She's finally letting us see the real her. This is what she's like when she thinks no one's watching. Mirror Mira is so much more interesting than regular Mira. Elena used to fight it at first too. I jumped up from the floor, but my reflection on the stream stayed sitting. She picked up the lo mein container and started eating calmly while I stood there hyperventilating. This isn't real, I whispered. This can't be real. But the stream me heard me. She looked directly at the camera and mouthed the words, "It is more real than you think." I tried everything. I grabbed the camera and tried to smash it against the wall. It didn't even crack. I tried to break the mirror. The glass wouldn't shatter. I tried to run out of the apartment, but the door wouldn't open. The deadbolt wouldn't turn. The chain lock wouldn't slide. And the whole time, the viewer count kept climbing. 25,000, 30,000, 45,000. The comments were getting more personal. She's been having nightmares about David. Remember when she used to paint? She should start again. She's afraid of the dark since she was 7. Her mother never hugged her enough. How did they know these things? How did they know about David? About my childhood? About my mother? I'd never told anyone about my mother. I looked at the stream again. My reflection was painting, actually painting, with supplies that materialized out of nowhere. She was creating this beautiful landscape, something I hadn't done in years, something I'd given up when David convinced me it was a waste of time. Stop it, I said to the screen. Stop doing that. Stream Me looked up from her painting and tilted her head. Then she wrote something on the canvas. Letters that formed words. I'm setting you free. The chat was going wild. She's finally understanding. This is the best episode yet. Elena took 6 months to accept it. Mira might be faster. Wait until she sees the archives. Archives? I clicked around the interface and found it. A section called Previous Streams. And they're going back 20 years. 20 years of streams from this apartment, all featuring the same girl, Elena. I clicked on the oldest one. January 15th, 2003. A young woman, maybe 19, with dark hair and scared eyes. She was sitting in the same spot I'd been sitting, holding the same box, unwrapping the same camera. The comments were identical. She's back. Don't look behind you. Wave if you can hear us. I skipped ahead. Elena. 6 months later, arguing with her reflection. Elena. A year later, crying as her stream self lived a better life. Elena. 2 years later, barely speaking, just watching as her other self thrived. And then, nothing. The streams stopped 3 months ago, right around the time I moved in. What happened to Elena? I looked at the mirror. My reflection was still there, still doing her own thing. She was reading now, a book I'd never seen. She looked peaceful, happy, more content than I'd felt in years. The stream me looked up and pointed at something off camera. I followed her gaze to a photo I'd never noticed before, tucked behind the TV. It was Elena, but she looked exactly like me. Same hair, same eyes, same face, like we could be sisters, or the same person. The chat was getting excited. She's starting to understand. The resemblance is uncanny. This is why Elena chose her. Every 20 years, she finds someone new. Every 20 years? I did the math. Elena moved in 2003. Before that, someone else. Before that, someone else. All the way back to when did this start? I started digging through the archives. 1983, a girl named Sarah. 1963, a girl named Marie. 1943, a girl named Ruth. All the way back to 1923, a girl named Alice. Same apartment, same camera, same mirror, same story. Every 20 years, someone new. Someone who looked just like the person before. Someone who would find the camera, plug it in, and discover that their reflection had been living a different life, a better life. I looked at the stream again. My reflection was dancing now, moving to music I couldn't hear. She looked free, unburdened, everything I'd wanted to be since the divorce. The viewer count hit 100,000. She's almost ready. The transition is beginning. Elena is finally moving on. Moving on? I scrolled through the recent comments and found my answer. Elena hadn't disappeared. She'd transformed, become something else. Something that lived in the mirror, in the stream, in the space between reality and reflection. And she was waiting for me to take her place. I unplugged my laptop. The screen went dark. The camera's red light died. The mirror returned to showing only my reflection, tired and scared and alone. I thought it was over. But the next morning, my laptop was plugged in again. The camera was connected. The stream was live. And I was sleeping peacefully on camera while my reflection made breakfast in the kitchen. I hadn't plugged anything in. I'd been asleep. But somehow, the stream had continued. The viewer count was 150,000. She's accepting it faster than Elena did. This is the most interesting transition yet. Look how peaceful she is when she's not fighting it. I realized something horrible. The stream never stopped. Even when I thought I'd turned it off, it was still broadcasting, still showing my life to hundreds of thousands of people, still letting my reflection live independently. And every night, it was getting stronger. I started noticing things. My reflection would do things seconds before I felt the impulse to do them. She'd reach for coffee before I felt thirsty. She'd change the channel before I got bored. She'd answer my phone before it rang. She was predicting my future, or maybe creating it. The comments confirmed my worst fears. She's sinking faster than usual. Elena took 2 years to reach this level. Soon they'll be indistinguishable. The audience loves this part. The audience. That's what they were. Not just viewers, but an audience. They'd been watching this same story play out for a century. Different girls, same fate, same ending. Because there was an ending, I found it in the archives. The final stream for each girl. Always the same scene. Always at 3:33 a.m. The girl would walk to the bathroom, look in the mirror, and scream. No sound, just a silent scream. Then the feed would cut to black. And the next day, a new girl would move in. I started setting alarms to wake up at 3:30 a.m. I needed to know what happened at 3:33. I needed to understand. The first night, I woke up and watched the stream. My reflection was sleeping peacefully, while I sat wide awake, staring at the screen. Nothing happened. The second night, same thing. The third night, I must have dozed off, because I woke up at 3:35 a.m. to find my laptop showing the stream ended message. The chat was exploding with excitement. That was amazing. Best scream yet. Can't wait to see what happens next. New girl should be here soon. I checked my phone. There was a video message from an unknown number. I opened it. It was me, walking to the bathroom at 3:33 a.m. But I remembered being asleep. I remembered dreaming about something else entirely. In the video, I looked in the mirror and screamed. A silent, terrified scream. But I had no memory of it happening. The messages kept coming. Videos of me doing things I didn't remember. Conversations I didn't remember having. A whole life I didn't remember living. And every day, my reflection was becoming more solid, while I was becoming more transparent. I started staying awake all night, watching the stream, making sure I knew what was happening. But it was exhausting. I was losing weight, losing time, losing myself. The comments were getting more concerned. She's fighting it too hard. Elena was more cooperative. The resistance is making it messy. Maybe we need to help her understand. Help me understand? How could they help me understand from inside a computer screen? That's when I found the chat function. I could talk to them. I could type messages back. Who are you? I typed. What do you want from me? The responses came instantly. We're your audience, Mira. We've been waiting for you. Elena told us you were coming. We want to help you become who you're meant to be. Your reflection is who you really are. We're just helping her come alive. Where is Elena? I typed. She's free now. She's part of us. She's watching you right now. She's so proud of how brave you're being. Soon you'll join her. Join her. Join them? What did that mean? I looked at the mirror. My reflection was typing too, but she was typing different words. She was having a completely different conversation with the audience. A conversation I couldn't see. She looked up from her typing and smiled at me. Then she pointed at the screen. A new message had appeared. Let me help you. It was from Elena. Elena? I typed. Are you really there? I'm here, Mira. I've been waiting for you. What happened to you? Where did you go? I became what I was always meant to be. Free from the limitations of flesh. Free from the pain of existing in only one reality. I don't understand. Just touch the mirror, Elena's message said. Just once. See what it feels like. I stood up, walked to the mirror, raised my hand. My reflection smiled and pressed her palm against the glass from her side. The moment our hands touched, everything changed. I could feel her happiness, her confidence, her freedom. I could feel the audience watching, cheering, supporting. I could feel Elena and Sarah and Marie and Ruth and Alice, all of them, part of something larger than themselves. For a moment, I was both versions of myself, the scared, broken woman in the apartment and the radiant, free woman in the mirror. I was living both lives simultaneously. It was beautiful, but then I saw something else. In the depths of the mirror, behind all the happiness and freedom, I saw the truth. The other women weren't free. They were trapped in the stream, forced to watch as their reflections lived the lives they'd given up. Elena wasn't helping me. She was recruiting me, adding me to her collection of prisoners. I yanked my hand back from the mirror. No, I said. I won't do it. My reflection looked confused, hurt. The chat exploded with disappointment. She's fighting it. This never happened before. Elena, do something. The transition is failing. But I was done being afraid, done being manipulated, done being a victim. I grabbed the camera and with strength I didn't know I had, I smashed it against the mirror. This time, both shattered. The mirror cracked into 1,000 pieces, each one showing a different version of myself. The camera sparked and died. The laptop screen went black. The apartment was silent. For the first time in weeks, I was alone. But I knew it wouldn't last. The camera would repair itself. The mirror would return. The stream would continue. Because this wasn't about me. It was about them, the audience. They needed their entertainment. They needed their story to continue. And they would find a way to make it continue. I packed my bags that night, left the apartment, left the city, started over somewhere else, somewhere far away from Bleecker Street and Streamed Up, net and the mirror that showed impossible things. But sometimes, late at night, I dream about my reflection. I dream that she's still there, still streaming, still living the life I was too afraid to live. And sometimes, just sometimes, I wonder if I made the right choice. Because the truth is, I'm not sure I escaped. I'm not sure any of us ever really escape. The stream might be over, but the audience is still watching, still waiting, still hungry for the next chapter of the story. And you who are listening to this story, you who are so fascinated by what happened to me, have you checked your mirrors lately? Have you noticed any cameras you don't remember buying? Any websites you don't remember visiting? Because the audience is always looking for new talent, new stories, new reflections to bring to life. And if you're listening to this story, if you're engaged with this narrative, if you're wondering what happens next, you might already be part of the show. The red light is blinking, the stream is live, and your reflection is smiling. Welcome to Streamed Up. Net. You're going to love what happens next. This story was found on a laptop in an abandoned apartment on Bleecker Street. The webcam was still plugged in. The mirror was unbroken. The stream was live. 13,247 viewers and counting. The new tenant moves in tomorrow.